Let's talk about the difference between static alignment and dynamic alignment in putting. Static alignment is something that you see on tour a lot, and it's where the player will put the putter down meticulously on the line and then stand in, build a stance, and maybe grip the putter a couple of times and then put it into motion. And you can certainly putt well that way. There's just some issues there that can come into play that will knock your alignment off, and that's mainly random motion in the joints. You know, we have with static alignment, there isn't preparation for stability in all the joints. You know, you may have some pressure in your arms to hold that putter stable, but the shoulders can come into play, and on longer putts, hips can come into play. You know, if you have to put some power into it, the hip can come in and easily move that putter to the left. And with there's also the question of grip pressure. How much grip pressure are you going to use? I'm going to hold this putter just very lightly here and let it swing back and forth by itself. And you can see that it's going to create a very strong arc, and you're likely not going to want to putt with a real strong arc because it's only on the target line for a brief moment. So you can just increase your grip pressure, and then that will make the arc more of a slight arc. But when you're increasing your grip pressure, then you're interfering with your feel for distance. So that can be an issue because speed control controls line and break, and so it's really important. Now, the other thing that can happen is that you can go outside the line. Players have loops in their strokes, so go outside or inside the line, and they'll use a gate drill to train yourself to swing on a stable arc. But problem is that you don't really have stability, and it can be easy to move out of that gate under pressure. And you don't want to be thinking about the path of your stroke when you're trying to make a putt. So with dynamic pre-shot alignment, and I'm talking about the Dynaline pre-shot alignment routine here, this is a routine that stabilizes joints in the wrist, elbows, shoulders, hips, and knees. And so now when I get into an address position, I could swing this putter back and forth and have very light grip pressure. I'm just holding this enough to keep it from falling out of my hands, and it creates the slight arc stroke, which is preferred for the best feel. You know, if you're increasing your grip pressure to stabilize, to make that arc less strong, then you're interfering with your touch. So there's an advantage for for dynamic pre-shot alignment just in distance control at all. The other part is alignment between address and impact. There's much less chance of looping the stroke, because if I try to push the stroke outside, I can feel pressure up in my arm and my chest that prevents that. And also, if I try to push it inside, I can feel pressure here on the left side that resists that. So this putter wants to travel on an arc, on a stable arc. So really a gate drill is just kind of unnecessary with this, because we've got our own arc. So, and now when I'm making a stroke, I can feel motion in all of my joints, in my shoulder joints, hip joints, even knee joints. And you know, there's been some really great putters that obviously have motion in their legs and their knees when they're putting. If you have static alignment and you have motion in your legs or knees, you know, that can throw things off. I'm exaggerating there, but it doesn't take much to throw it off. So, and dynamic pre-shot alignment is something that has to be learned to prepare the joints for this repetitive, consistent motion. But once you learn this, it's not mechanical at all. You know, we're dealing with mechanical issues here with motion in the joints, but once you learn how to do it, then you're just dealing with the feel of this, and it doesn't take anything at all to get into the address position once you learn it. It's very comfortable, stable, and it allows you to focus. Once you're aligned, we can trust our alignment. We don't have to track that and worry about our direction control during the stroke. We're more focused on distance control. So we can really focus on one thing after we get lined up, and that's distance control. So that's really important. So if you'd like to learn more about Dynaline and dynamic pre-shot alignment, visit dynalinegolf.com, and there's videos on there, and we've got Zoom lessons available. So take a look and see what you think.